Hello YouTuber, welcome to MTGA Day, and today we are going to have a look at Imoti Celebrant of Bounty in Historic Brawl. This deck aims to win by playing Imoti and 6 drops and just cascading through your entire deck. So our commander, Imoti Celebrant of Bounty, is a 5 mana 3/1 with Cascade, which means when you cast a spell you exile cards from the top until you hit a spell with lesser mana value, and then you can cast that spell for free. And spells you cast with mana value 6 or greater have Cascade as well. So one thing that is a very neat interaction here is if you cast an 8 drop and then you had a 6 drop, that 6 drop will also have Cascade thanks to Imoti, and then you will dig even deeper into your deck, so you can chain multiple Cascades if you're lucky enough. Or another big thing here is that cost reduction is really relevant to this deck, because it's only the mana value you care about, not the actual cost you pay. And that means that if you, for example, reduce the cost of a Emrakul, right? Like with its own ability, let's say you cast an Emrakul for like 8 or 7, you still cascade for a 13, so that allows you to hit a Ghalta Primal Hunger, which then can cascade into an extra turn, and that can cascade into a 6 drop, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. To do this plan reasonably consistent, you just want to ignore interaction. The reason why interaction is so weird, especially counter magic, is cheap interaction is what you will always cascade into effectively. And if you hit a counter spell, that's just a dead card that you don't get any value out of cascading out of or into. And so that brings me to my next point. This is a very linear deck. This is basically just like, this deck is basically playing itself. And initially I struggled with the deck because I just, like, I'm generally not playing these type of decks that don't interact with the opponent but also are not fast enough and just try to go over the top and then just die to anything remotely fast. But at the same time, the queue system in Historic Brawl really rewards you if you play these types of decks, because most people just don't have enough relevant interaction and don't kill you quick enough. So you can actually get away with playing a deck like this. For example, initially I had a 12-10 record, which is 55% win rate, which is like way below my average. And then I just cut a few interaction spells, and then went 32-2 with the deck. So like this exact version, I believe, is 32-2 or like 32-3, something along those lines. Like a ridiculously high win rate. And I think that is just comes down to variance. So fear not if you play this deck for the first time and you go 0-4, because, you know, there is going to be some variance in the gameplay. And that's just how it is. About the construction of the deck itself, we already talked about that we don't want to include cards that we can cascade into and just don't do anything on Cascade. Most interaction falls onto that category. Extra turns are great. Even Time Warp. Like, it's weird saying even Time Warp, right? Because the other extra turn spells trigger Cascade, whereas Time Warp doesn't. But you can still cascade into a Time Warp, and that is just GG most of the time. We play most cards that can reduce their own cost in one way or another. Ghalta, for example, Icebreaker Kraken. But also the Emerge cards are really solid. Not playing all of them because some of them are just like too expensive for what they do. You could play all of the Emerge cards. I just chose to play a couple. A bunch of ramp, and then cost reducers are really great, because let's say you have a Cloud Key on creature and then the Semblance Anvil exiling a creature. Suddenly you can easily double or triple spell these creatures, chain through your whole deck, and then hit an extra turn and just win in the same turn. Or alternatively, give everything haste with Surak and Goreclaw, one of the new cards. It's pretty neat, giving everything that comes into play haste until end of turn. So, yeah, that is the basic idea of the deck. I don't think there is too much more to talk about. If there is some really neat tech coming up in the games, I will tell you. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. If you do, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and join the Discord. It is a pretty neat place. Lots of historic Brawl decks in there, a huge database effectively. And yeah, we're talking about historic Brawl all day, every day there. Let's play some Magic. We are ready to play against Atraxa, Praetor's Voice. This should be a favorite matchup overall. Oh, this is a very tricky hand. Jacob Hawkham is a great card. We don't really have any ramp, but like Jacob Hawk. The problem is if this Jacob dies, we just don't have anything to do. But at the same time, just lands and a cost reducer like Nylea will eventually get there. I think that was probably the best draw in the deck, to be honest. Yeah, because that gives us a turn 2 Jacob into a turn 3 Nylea. Pretty good. Avacyn's Pilgrim. Don't think I want to offer the trade here. We are way more reliant on our mana than the opponent is. Jacob can be a tricky card to play. Like you want to exile the most important card from your hand last with Jacob, because if he dies before you flip him, you permanently lose the card, right? So we could just blow up this Arcane Signet. I don't think that will do us any good in the long run, though. Just pass the turn. We are going to draw this card with this Jacob in the opponent's end step. Set up for a Imoti. Next turn and the turn afterward, we try to flip Jacob, play Emrakul for free, cascade the Emrakul into something. Okay, that shouldn't mess with that plan whatsoever, but that is obviously unfortunate. Let's want to exile one of these. Let's say we want to exile that. Okay, do we want to crack the fetch or not? Let's keep it in hand, just in case. So we cascade into Llanowar Visionary, which is a pretty good target to cascade into, considering that we also just get to draw another card. If they counter Imoti, that's fine. Yeah. Redraw. Oh, that's a pretty good card. So the current plan is... 1, 2, 3. No, we're 1 mana off of doing that. So I would have loved to activate Jacob, and then cast a Time Warp for free of the Jacob, but Time Warp costs 2 more thanks to the Elsewhere's Conqueror's death, which is an issue. So I'm not sure if we were supposed to if we are supposed to exile this Time Warp in the first place. Let's exile this Sawtusk Demolisher. And let's just... Let's flip Jacob. Emrakul. Let's do maximum damage to the opponent. And let's see what we can do here. We definitely want to... Oh, I know what we can do. Oh, that's so nasty. We can exile this and let it stay in exile permanently. And then we also attempt to, well, not attempt to, but we are going to harrow and then fail to fight. And we just say, hey, oh, we didn't find any basics here. We could have taken that opportunity to look at their deck, actually. Yeah, that was my bad. But I saw that they had a lot of basics, so I assume they are somewhat on a budget. Okay, we are in a pretty favorable position. We did give them an Atraxa. Well, now we're just hoping for them to not... We're hoping for them to not find removal for this Hawkins inside. Probably don't want to block that. So now... Do we have an exit turn under that? No, we don't. Well, they ponder, sure. Is it better to reverse rebuke here in that spot? I feel like it is. Has to be, right? Yep, return to hand. Now they don't have the commander anymore. Let's just Turntimber Symbiosis. I assume that a Mockery of Nature is the best choice. Yeah, maybe we would have considered the Wolf there, but we didn't have anything from the graveyard to exile. Specifically, we are looking for creatures to exile with that card. And I assume they are just dead in the air, right? Especially with this Time Warp coming up. Yep, and that is the game. GG. We are ready to play against Omnath, Locus of All. Bunch of ramp, bunch of big things. Like, this is very much the average hand. I don't think there is anything that could be more average than this. Just 2 big hits, the minimum amount of ramp required, and nothing else. At this point, I think we just want to draw lands. But at least we have most of our colors covered. Currently we can't cast the Waker of Waves because we need double blue for that. But I think we will get there. Let's enchant this snow-covered forest. Yeah, we just draw land. Yeah, that's a pretty good draw because that lets us to play a Boreal Grazer into Paladimir, which honestly is only relevant if we actually draw land next turn as well. We could also cascade Imoti into some card that gives us a land. Cultivate, for example. Yeah, Imoti is decent against like these control decks because you just get to 1 mana off of playing Nylea into Imoti. I think it's correct to just play Imoti here. Imoti being a natural 2-for-1 because you just always gain value. Oh, I think that was just actually the best hit here, because that actually lets us to deploy the Nylea and go absolutely crazy next turn. Yeah, we can go Kogla and Wurmcoil Engine because both of these are reduced by 3. 2 by the Goreclaw, 1 by the Nylea. Notice Cobra is a pretty good card. They have a lot of lands here to play. That could be an issue. Okay. Sure. Oh, I think we definitely want to do that though, right? Yeah. Untap you.
Let's get moving.
Yep. Kogla, Cascade. Oh, that's an Anvil, wow. We are going to imprint the Wake of Waves now, or if we imprint a creature, all creatures cost 2 less, which results in our creatures costing ridiculously low amounts of mana. We're trying to find a second blue source here so we can cast and emerge in their upkeep. So weirdly enough, I kind of want to fetch green just to have another chance on top decking a blue source, but I don't think that is too correct here. Yeah, and we just swing in with everything, I think. I mean, because like, if they block with one of these, their mana is taxed, and that's actually what I want to happen. Because if a board wipe happens, it happens anyways, right? Yeah, and that is the game. But again, by the way, if we tap decked another blue source, we could have cast an Elder Deep-Fiend, sacrificing a creature here, and for 2 blue in their upkeep, and then we would have tapped them out of all their lands. So they were just with Lotus Cobra and an untapped Avacyn's Pilgrim on the board. Yeah. Anyways, GG. We are ready to lose against Ragavan Nimble Pilferer. And yeah, this hand is pretty decent. Issue just being that this deck is really bad against aggro, and turns out there is a popular aggro commander out there. Like, this is not even a Ragavan problem, like Ragavan is a whole different topic, but just anything aggro is really tough for this deck to deal with. So maybe we can ship this. Maybe. But also this is a... I mean, we just have the ramp. Let's try it, right? Let's hope they don't beat us too badly. Okay, that's actually what we want to see. That's nice. Because that means like they spent 5 mana to increase the clock by 2 damage, and we don't really care about them gaining a lot of value, right? We care about them killing us. Quickly. So, I mean, it's wishful thinking, but maybe this Gwenna lives. I don't think so. I don't think there was a world where this Gwenna ever lives, to be honest. Okay, mechanized warfare is an issue. Yeah, Mind Stone, good draw. Now we have 1 more mana for future turns. And if we can make it to the point where we can cast Imoti and a bunch of extra turns, I think we should be good to go. Okay, those are all bad hits for the opponent, which I quite like. Okay. Maybe we are doing it. Leyline in combination with Mechanized Warfare means that we can't really target the opponent's things too often, otherwise, you know, we are in a lot of trouble. Oh, oh, that's an interesting one. I think if we target the Leyline here, we don't really get punished, do we? Because now they are... Like, we get dealt 3 damage, right? But now we just wall them off with our huge creatures. And next turn... Oh, okay. Well, that's an issue, obviously, but it's one that we can resolve. Down to 6, so we are in get burned out range, to be honest. Target creature can't block. Well, that's an issue as well. They have a lot of mana, right? But can we? 1, 2, 3. We are one. No, we're a couple mana off actually. How do we not die? I think we can start by using the Karn's Temporal Sundering. What do we want to return? I think Mechanized Warfare? Not sure though. With the extra turns, we can attack with the Cityscape Leveler multiple times, by the way. And then... I think we're supposed to actually play this. 1, 2... No, we can't play multiple spells either way. I still think it's probably correct. Very tricky. We're gonna blow most other stuff up, right? So, so we're gonna swing in for 9, for 9 again, for 9 again. Is that just lethal? Oh, wait, maybe I'm just thinking too much, right? So we Cityscape Leveler, killing this. Yeah, I was definitely thinking too much, because we just have lethal. Well, turns out lethal is good. Just take a bunch of extra turns, good game, and that is it for the opponent. Wow, yeah, dodged the bullet there for sure. GG. We are ready to play against Urza Lord Protector. No ramp. Well, no real ramp, to be honest. Let's mulligan. This looks better. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good draw. Elvish Mystic. Maybe we're supposed to lead on the Grazer, because then we don't get got by interaction, but it's fine. Play you tapped. Pass turn, and then just play Moti next turn, and then we have the Boreal Grazer to sacrifice to the Wretched Gryff. Pretty good overall. Let's see. Curial Spelldancer, sure. I assume they have some form of counter magic if they pass the turn here. It's fine. Yeah, I think we're just gonna run our commander into a counter spell and get the value of the Cascade. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good card to get off the Cascade, because that reduces the cost of all these sweet cards. Oh, they don't have anything? Maybe a bounce spell? No. Okay. So, well, the Goreclaw doesn't reduce the cost of Wretched Gryff. It's kind of awkward in my opinion, but at the same time I think the card is still just good enough to get played. Let's sacrifice you, is that possible? Yes, beautiful. Cascade and draw. We kind of want to find snowlands. A snow-covered forest would be optimal, because that would allow us to play this Garen Brick untapped as well. And the reason why we want snowlands right now is because of this Icebreaker Kraken, which costs less for each snowland we control. And we just do this right now before like something happens to either of these and we can't cast this, or we can still cast it but not with Cascade. Yeah, that's a really great Cascade target. Turns out if you don't Cascade into an interaction, you Cascade into a lot of great things. Yep, Uro happens. And I don't think we want to attack with either of these cards. Because they can double block with the Goreclaw, although I don't assume that they will do that. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of fine with them double blocking Goreclaw. Yep. And also, in some spots, like if you run out of cards in hand, it is a really good strategy to aggressively trade away Imoti in order to just play Imoti again for value, right? And then you might find something like an Uro and suddenly you just have a lot of staying power in the game. I think we just want to lead on Turntimber Symbiosis. Icebreaker Kraken can get reduced even further. Swing in. I assume a board wipe happens here at some point, right? If that happens, we just let the commander go to the graveyard. Well, okay. Everything is exiled. But it is fine. We just get to... Imoti versus Zavala. I think it's just better for our mana. If we Imoti now and then next turn... Oh yeah. Oh wow, yeah. So we're gonna order it like this. Then we draw the land and we play the Icebreaker Kraken. Cascade into Turntimber, which then cascades again. So a whole lot of cascading is going to happen now. Land, Icebreaker Kraken, cascades into Turntimber Symbiosis, cascades into Semblance Anvil. I think we are going to exile the Zavala. Yep. Cost 2 less. It's an Wurmcoil. I think I want to put that into play. And yeah, the really cool thing about Icebreaker Kraken is that we can now have a consistent Cascade card in play where we just return Icebreaker Kraken to our hand and play Icebreaker Kraken again, which is pretty neat. We will go down on lands like very quickly if we do that, but with our current hand of 3 lands, that is just objectively better than doing nothing. And I mean, the opponent has to deal with this Wurmcoil right now, and they already used up this Farewell, so it kind of has to be another board wipe, which we're fine with, because we can cast our commander for relatively cheap again. And in response to the board wipe, we can return the Icebreaker Kraken to our hand, so we just have a lot of gas. Not sure if we can Icebreaker Kraken twice. I'm pretty sure we can't. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Return to hand. That happens. Oh, are we going to die to these toxic creatures? That would be highly unfortunate, to be honest. Oh no. Oh no, not like this! Okay. I think we just have to not die here. Oh, okay, we are dying. What can we actually cascade into? Wow, yeah, like White Sun's Twilight, usually not a card I would recommend, is doing some really gross stuff here. We can just Icebreaker Kraken though, right? Yep. Let's do that. Because that just at least locks their board down for 1 turn. And then see where we go from there, to be honest. Oh, they can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they play land now and then another land next turn, they can actually flip Urza immediately, which is an issue. We need something good. Does this qualify as something good? Do we die if we don't do that? Because, like, maybe you want to Imoti instead. Let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. No, yeah, they definitely flip Urza minus twice, and then we're toast. Can we Icebreaker Kraken again? But that just puts us in the same position but worse, right? So we kind of have to discover the formula and hope for a miracle. That is actually a miracle. It's actually a miracle. We have two options of surviving this turn. No, we don't. We only have one. Yep, we only have one. We need to Elder Deep-Fiend sacrifice the Icebreaker Kraken, because if we deploy two creatures, still Urza comes down, flips, kills two creatures, and then we're just dead. Okay, and we can't attack in because this is protection from blue, so let's just pass the turn. Oh man, I wish we had one more mana to just play something this turn. Sacrifice. That is happening. We tap down 1, 2, 3. And do we play around removal? Probably have to play around removal, right? 4. And we tap down the Might and Meek Stone in order to deny them enough mana that they can't flip the Urza this turn. Another issue is that our Elder Deep-Fiend is just going to get exiled by the Swords to Plowshares in the graveyard. They can swing in with the Ornithopter, right? Oh, that's an issue. Yeah. They can go ahead, cast this Swords to Plowshares, and then blink the Might Sun and the Meekstone in order to draw 2 cards, right? Okay, Swords. Blink. We still have outs, I think. And those outs are River's Rebuke, right? No, that's not a River's Rebuke. I think we are dead on board because they can just play Urza, flip, minus. Oh yeah. Let them find it. Cascade. Guardian Idol is no good here. And yeah, Gwenna and Kami both at least block 1/1s. We're just still dead on board here. Yep. We are dead. Great game. We are ready to play against Tyvar Jubilant Brawler. And I think this is still a keep, although it's kind of sad that we can't really cast a Tribute to the World Tree. Would have loved to, but that's not really happening here, to be honest. Put a land into play. Our best draws would be Forest, to be honest. That's not a forest. Cloud Key on a creature. That will reduce the cost of our Uru as well. Now Uru is Grow Spell with upside. Oh, that's a pretty good draw actually. Uru. Forest? Forest. Nice. Pass turn. We already have a big thing in our hand, but it's kind of uncastable, so I kind of want to play Tribute to the World Tree before we play Imoti, but elves just have a lot of ways to tutor other elves, and a lot of other elves are really good at removing enchantments, so I'm not sure what the correct call is. But I think if we want to, like, I don't think we're close to casting this Emrakul, so we need the card draw. Tribute to the World Tree provides. It's just in general a really cool card to cascade into with Imoti, because Imoti has 3 power, so cast Imoti, put Tribute into play, then Imoti enters and you immediately draw a card. Yeah, great deal in my opinion. I think, though, we might be dead next turn. Yeah, especially with the Great Henge. They're going to draw a ton of cards, and they have enough mana probably to next turn just kill us with a Crater Hoof. So we kind of need a solution to that, but at the same time our deck is not designed to solve problems, it is there to create problems. So let's pray. Yep, another mana rock. I mean, we're mostly going to cascade into mana anyways with this deck, right? I think we have enough blue. We need like 2 to 3 blue sources in this deck, and then the rest is green. So let's see how dead we are. I assume very. They have 6, 7. Yeah, they can just finale x equals 10 Great Henge. Draws them a ton of cards, but usually turns leading with Primordial Sage, especially with another draw engine already in play, lead to us not being dead, which I quite enjoy. The problem is that we can't cast anything, so we definitely have to top deck. At the very least, I'm going to attack the Tyva with the Imoti, force them to block it, and replay Imoti again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're 2 mana off of this Wurmcoil. 2 mana is actually a shame, because... No, we already have a creature in the graveyard, right? Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, we could attack with Imoti, let it stay in the graveyard, and then cast Wurmcoil, but we already have a creature, so that's not going to do anything. If Elf sets up with 3 draw engines in play, they now have 5 mana. The chances of us living the next turn are 0, in my opinion, especially if they already have the Great Henge effectively in play. So Vivien can minus, then the next creature spell you cast, search something with lesser mana value. Fierce Empath is the card you grab, with 3 mana cards, so you cast something for 4, grab something for 3, and that fetches the Great Henge. This is a good draw though. Cascade into something cool? Yeah. That doesn't do anything for us. I assume we just get rid of Primordial Sage, right? And we can actually put this into our hand and then play it again. Yeah, pretty neat. Draw another card. No, just... Oh no, it doesn't even draw because it has 0 power. I don't think we offer the trade. At the very least, if they can't find lethal, we can look at their hand and judge. And I'm going to judge hard because I really love elves. No, I'm not kidding. I mean, but I just don't think there is a world where we live through this turn. They just have to figure out how to kill us. Any 4-drop here is lethal. Again, minus Vivien, 4-drop or higher, and then find a Fierce Empath, which finds the Great Henge for lethal. If they use the Tyvar untap ability here, I think that is a bit too early. You can definitely top deck some stronger elves to untap. Okay, there it is. Great Henge. Okay, they just had the Hovenant, and yeah, that is the game. They swing in for 1 million. And honestly, elves is a really bad matchup for this kind of strategy, because elves just does what we do, but more consistent in a way. Elves does give the opponent more points to interact, though, like, they rely way more on creatures. Like, if our Imoti dies, we just still have ramped, and then we just drop another big thing, right? But, yeah, we are not favored in this matchup, and it shows. I believe we are dead on board. GG. We are ready to play against Legrella the Magpie. And I don't think this hand is keepable. One more land here and I think we would have been fine. Maybe though. maybe we can get away with greed. Yes, we keep it. One more land and this hand is amazing. Yeah, that is the whole reason. I know we don't have blue, but I'm so good at Magic. I know we didn't have blue in that hand, but I was just saying, hey, F it, we are just going for this Oracle of Moldaya plan here. Question is, what do we cast here? If we draw another land, I think I want to lean into the Oracle, because that allows us to play another land from hand. But I think this is already the best case scenario, basically. They can just Ligrella, exile the Oracle, but Oracle did his job drawing a card, ramping us. And no thank you, opponent. Knight of Autumn. And we would have gotten destroyed by this Paladimir. We kind of need to get rid of that knight, to be honest, but it's fine. So, what we're going to do, we're going to start on this Vine Glimmersnarl, then Cascade Imoti, go past this Emrakul. Okay, that's a fight rigging. Sure. Which grabs a Goreclaw, not very exciting. And then we find another land on top. Beautiful. Imoti, and Ligrella absolutely destroys us here, to be honest. But she will always destroy us, basically. So, opponent exiling Knight of Autumn and Imoti. I don't think... Can we afford to just not care? So, the thinking here is, if we put our commander back to the command zone, they just effectively got removed our commander for free. If we leave it there, they're disincentivized of actually returning this knight, and we can just go ahead and play Mirror Shell Crab and ramp a bunch. So let's decline. I think we can do some great stuff even without a commander in this spot. Land of the top, land of the top, land of the top, land of the top. Wow, we're amazing at this. We can cast a Mockery of Nature and then immediately play this Goreclaw, but I think I'm I'm really into this whole Mirror Shell Crab business right now. The ward ability, like ward 3, is just really tough for the opponent to deal with. And destroy target enchantment. There it is. That's fine. But yeah, we can now Otawara the Ligrella, which is pretty neat. Let's do that actually. And then we can... Oh no! Oh, okay. I messed up, but didn't matter. Well, it did matter. It did matter a lot actually. I was supposed to tap fewer blue sources here, and that way we could have actually casted the Karn's Temporal Sundering. Yeah, let's put it into the command zone this time. And then set up for an Imoti into Mockery of Nature next turn. This is big. I don't remember this being so big. No, it returned with Ligrella and put the counters on itself as well. So let's just sit here. Elishnorn. Ooh. Do we have enough mana? 1, 2. I think we do. Yeah, we definitely have enough mana to do the things, the cool things. Imoti cascading into Cemetery Prowler. No ETB will happen because of Elishnorn. And then return the Elishnorn for an extra turn. Put a Nylea into play. And Mockery of Nature into Colossal Sky Turtle. Sign me up. What are we going to sacrifice? Is it going to be the Cemetery Prowler? Oh no, we have to sacrifice the Miracle Grip, correct? Yeah. Return target card from your graveyard. That is... Could also just... Yeah, we can also just not do that. Let's just play the Arboreal Grazer as sacrifice fodder for the Mockery. Because now we can land. Return. Do we just want to play Kiora? Yeah, I think we do. So we start out hardcasting Colossal Sky Turtle off the top. Kiora draws us cards, a ton of cards actually now. We don't want that on top. So let's put it into her hand. Oh, and that is just amazing. Sky Turtle. Cascade's Mockery. We have to target something, but don't worry, it's a May. Waker of Waves. All of these are going to draw us cards with Kiora. Oh yeah, and with Tribute to the World Tree. Wow. So we're going to draw 2 cards per creature. Yep. That is happening as well. Oh, and we can do even more cool shenanigans, right? Growth Spiral. Put a land into play. We are going to... we kind of messed up on the taps. We need to leave these 2 blue untapped. So let's just untap this green here. Put a Somberwald Sage into play. And we're going to swing in with these. Yep. And then in their upkeep we're going to Elder Deep-Fiend, tapping down all their mana. Well, 4 mana to be specific. And let's see. Goes to their upkeep. Yep. So emerge. What are we going to sacrifice? I think the Mockery of Nature. So we're going to cascade into the Druid. We don't really care about... So blue, white, white, white. Yeah, but white is the board wipe color. That's what we care about. Restoration Angel. They blinked the Lagrella, but it is too late at this point. It is very much too late for the opponent. Not sure what they exile here. Because Imoti, you can't really exile Imoti in this kind of spot. Because the Cascade already happened. And they know the next Cascade is not going to be relevant. Maybe it's the Waker of Waves? Or the Nylea. Yeah, potentially Nylea, reducing the costs. Oh, it's Oracle. I think that's also very reasonable. But at the same time, the opponent is probably dead. The opponent did tap wrong, though. Probably just auto-tapper, but these 2 are getting tapped. They should have not tapped these 2, which are, you know, currently not getting tapped. So, yeah, they say good game, we say good game, because, well, it was a game. It's Imoti, so you never know what you're gonna get. GG. We are done with the games. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did. And Imoti, Celebrant of Bounty, is one of the cards of all time. Now, I think it is a really fun deck. It is definitely not my type of deck. If you know me, I'm more on the competitive side. And Imoti, while I believe she's still like around 80% win rate on my end, I would not consider this deck competitive. I would consider this a deck that is really, really well positioned in the queue, but the queue is not competitive. So, yeah, she thrives. What can I say? If you want to build this deck on a budget, there are some things you have to keep in mind. This specific version is obviously pretty expensive because we have a lot of big expensive things, and those tend to be mythics or rares. I believe, currently thinking, I believe there is one more emerge card which might be a common and uncommon. You can add that, by the way. For the rest of the deck, focus on the card draw and reduction engines. It doesn't matter too much what you put into play. These are, in my opinion, obviously great targets. Maybe Wurmcoil, like that card has slightly underperformed in my experience. But for the most part, I think these are optimal. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much, because if you're casting something for 6, 7, 8 mana, it usually ends the game in one way or another. You just need to get there, and getting there, those are the expensive cards. I think it is pretty important for you that you have the draw and you have the cost reducers, right? So these kinds of cards, well, you kind of have to build slightly around Goreclaw, making sure that you have a critical mass of 4 power or higher, right? But if you manage to do that, Goreclaw is great. Yeah, like, these cards are really what hold the deck together from a rare and mythic perspective, because you cascade into them, they give you crazy amount of mana effectively, or they just allow you to draw a ton of cards. And then, you know, these here on the right are the honorable mentions. Jacob Hawkham is a card that is really good in this deck as a plan B, because turns out if your deck is full of really big spells, Jacob Hawkham does some really nasty things, but you definitely don't need him. You can just play Ramp instead. Growth Spider has a common version, I believe, or uncommon version. And Brainstorm is definitely not needed as well, although it can be quite nice. You're on 4 mana in the opponent's end step, you Brainstorm, you put something on top, then you, on 5 mana, play Imoti Cascade into it. So that is pretty neat. Yeah, I think that is really it. Like, these cards are needed, these cards are not needed. Play the big stuff you want to. Goreclaw only relevant if you have the relevant cards, right? And for the mana fixing, I think you can just get away and play all basics, to be fair. The main reason why this fixing is so good in this deck, and like we're also heavily leaning into the forest side a bit more, is Tribute for the World Tree for the most part. Because once you don't have that in your deck and you don't need to cast this consistently on turn 3, like, you don't really need fixing. You just need like 2 green, 2 blue over the course of the game, and the rest is just whatever, right? So yeah, that has been Imoti, Celebrant of Bounty. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.